I've run into a problem. See if somebody can maybe answer it. I'm running a 33-gallon compressor. Get the right angle here so you can see everything. It runs at about, I don't know, I think it gets up to 140. Doesn't quite go to 150. I got this sandblasting cabinet from Harbor Freight. It took me 3 days to put together, and even now that it's together, I'm discovering some issues. And now that I decided to read the reviews online, it leaks like a sieve. So if I decide to keep this thing, I'm going to have to disassemble everything and run more insulation. I might even run this stuff. Maybe not though, because I don't think I'd be able to bolt it down and compress it enough. Probably something half that width. This thing is extremely messy. There's a port in the back. Also, that's something should have been painfully obvious to me, but eluded me, was the fact that while you're blowing air into this thing, air needs to escape somewhere. So while it's escaping, it's going to be blowing small particles out of it. I'll explain this in a second. This is where you normally hook up a shop vac to, and it'll extract that dust and that air so that you're not ballooning the item, because eventually I had it on here and it was starting to blow the gloves out just like this because of the air pressure both sides. And I constantly kept hearing something, and I was wondering what it was. Every time I stopped, I heard boom, boom. I'm like, thought it was the band next to me playing drums, but it was the box going back to the original shape. This is the hopper version, and I did not know that you didn't need a sandblaster, additional capacity to run this. What it does is, when it works right, and I took that piece off, this metal tube is connected to this line right here, and then feeds down into here. And while while you're forcing air through here, air is going to come up through the gun and then siphon up material, and both of it comes out. Well, that has not worked for me. It keeps jamming. Even when it does actually siphon material up in here, it ends up getting clogged up in here. And the nozzle is the biggest nozzle I could get on that thing. So, or at least the biggest nozzle that it came with. And the media is categorized as fine. See right there in the corner. I don't know if they have super fine, ultra fine, and superfluously fine, but I couldn't figure out why it was clogging, so I'm really looking for somebody else to give me some answers. The one thing that I thought was, well, it could be water in the compressor, because I don't have a water extractor. So I tried to take the one off of this, because I bought this thinking that I needed it, and technically you don't if this thing works properly. So I was going to try to take the water separator off here, except you can't unscrew it. It's a big pain in the butt, so I was like, well, I'll just buy another one. Well, before I buy another one, why don't I just test this out? Hence, this is why this isn't here. So I just rolled a sock up to take up the extra space and seal it, so I'm not blowing material all out of this hole. And pump this thing up, pressurize this system. One thing I don't like about this is that this safety valve blows off and just starts kicking out pressure as soon as it gets to, I'd say probably 120, somewhere around 120, and this thing's supposed to be operating at 90 to 125 psi, and we don't have that ability. I don't know if 5 psi is going to make a world of difference, but when it says it does something, I'd like for it to do that thing that it claims it says it can be done. And so we ran that through the cabinet with the door shut, and same thing, this thing would clog up. It wasn't unless I took the tip off of here, and here it is. And this was the biggest tip that came with this one, which I think is probably even, oh yeah, it's way smaller inside diameter versus this. I should probably try hooking this gun up to it, seeing if that would work. That's not a bad idea. I think I will do that. If that's got the same diameter, I'm going to run this over to here. So, anyway, took this off, and it went through. I mean, that thing was pumping stuff out. You can see all the dust. The problem was it pumped it out just too quickly, and couldn't really regulate it all that much. So I believe the fix I need for this is a bigger diameter and probably even a different fitting here. Because the other thing is it's got this piece of rubber in here, so it really limits what can go through there, and it gets easily clogged. So as for this gun, I don't even know if I'll be able to use the gun with this media. I mean, I don't get it. So somebody tell me what I'm doing wrong. And this is a they call this thing two different things depending on what year car you have. A internal air control valve, IACV, I don't remember, but it goes on the back of the manifold on your Hondas. I'm tired and sick, so you can make fun of me all you want. Anybody knows how to get this thing up and running, I need it, because I'm wanting to blast all kinds of stuff, like this manifold clean, transmission rebuild it, valve cover. There's a couple of builds I'm working on, and I've got this engine just sitting in there as a test fit. It's got a hydro tranny. I gotta run hydro lines, a bunch of other stuff. Apparently somebody's in the way over there. So, anybody knows how to run this thing or has one, figure out what exactly I'm doing wrong, that information passed on to me would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.